Hello, thanks for joining me today on my channel. This is Discovering My Dividends, and well, essentially I'm on this investment challenge to make $1 million in less than 7 years, and I'm trying to show that you can do that with $50 a month into your investment account. This is hopefully to help new investors. Go ahead and click subscribe and like. I'd like to get my channel to be monetized by the end of August. Right now it's the second weekend in May, and I have 13 subscribers. My goal for end of May is to be at 100. And yeah, if you could click subscribe and like, that would help me out immensely. So today I did a trade with Canadian stock PPL. I'm not an advisor, so whatever you do with your trading, make sure it's the right thing for your portfolio. This is not advice. This is simply sharing my experience. Now, I do have an interesting take on things. Don't know if my strategy's something that a lot of people do. I mean, obviously there's parts to it, right? It's intraday trading mixed with maybe kind of a hint towards swing trading. I do believe swing trading is a very positive way to go. If you don't have a ton of time to invest into your trading on a day-to-day basis, swing trading is probably a better choice for you. If you can go on daily, intraday trading can work, but it's not day trading. So if you're going to be a day trader, you got to invest a lot of time, I believe. Anyways, from my understanding, I'm not a day trader. All right, so with that being said, I invested in a stock, PPL, today. I'm just going to tell you, essentially it dropped. It's at 6% drop right now. When I first looked at it, it was five, almost 6. So it's gone down a little bit since I bought it, which is a little bit disheartening, but I jumped in because it kind of had hit this kind of a flatter space. Now, is that something that I normally do? Yes, I'm looking for something that's going to drop and then bounce. I felt like this stock had some positive news, so there might be a chance for it to bounce. The bounce may not happen immediately. There's also all kinds of, with the tariff war, there's talk about having a pipeline go east to west in Canada, which I think this company would benefit from immensely. That, of course, wouldn't happen in the next few days. But long term, I think it makes this company more viable. The yield is 5%. They're kind of a dividend aristocrat. And so I think there's a lot of things there. They're also very stable, even though there's tariff wars and there's other kind of oil price issues, because they're a pipeline and they basically do a lot of stuff through contracts. Their stock may fluctuate with oil prices, but essentially their income stays more stable, I guess is the best way to look at that. So they're not as affected by some of the short-term ups and downs. Long-term may have some issues with them, but I think they're going to fit good with my portfolio. So I only do dividend stocks, and of course I'm trying to do like intraday trading. If I end up holding it, I'm perfectly good holding this stock long term. Like if I have to hold it for 10 years, I believe it will be viable in 10 years. Although right now it is taking a little bit of a crash. And that's fine. If it goes down further than what I bought it at, I'll just have to eat it. It seems like it's on a little bit of a bear run this year so far. So if we go year to date, it's down 3%. And this recent 6% drop is kind of plays into my whole scenario where I like to buy. I've done a review on this. I feel like the stock has potential value. Like I've already said, some of the things I've read up about, but also some of the numbers suggest it might have some potential upside as well. Based on my research, do your own research and don't tell anyone I told you to buy it, because that's not true. But it is, in my estimate, a good stock for my strategy. So if I get a turnaround for this stock, I end up buying 2 shares. So for anybody out there, you can buy 2 shares of this stock. You don't have to buy 100 or whatever. So if you don't have very much money, that was just over $100. The stock's at 51.62, and you basically just put in those shares. I'm with Wealthsimple in Canada, and so it's a no fees. So wherever you're buying and selling, get a no fees online broker, so it doesn't cost you anything to do that purchase. I bought 2 shares, and I can turn around and sell the first share. I'm going to get a 1% gain. Second one, I'm going to get a 2% gain, because I tier my sales. That's just part of my strategy. And I'm trying to get a quick turnaround on the first sale. And 1% is a good number, and 2% is, I think, possible very quickly as well. With that being said, if I get my turnover, I don't get the dividend unless I go over the dividend period, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So if I get a 1% turnaround very quickly, that's fantastic. So I'm trying to get about 16% a month. Let's see what my numbers are right now for this current step here. So I'm going to go into my account. I was doing well yesterday, but there's a little bit of a drop today, so it's down today about 0.5%. For the week, I'm just barely over break even. The month, I'm down to 4.6% for the month. I was 10% yesterday, so numbers really don't mean anything other than they're just fun to talk about. Let's go year to date. I'm at 3.44% for the year. The reason I say numbers don't matter is if the market's down for the day, everything looks up, and if the day you're looking at is down, plus like you go back to the beginning of that period that you're looking at, it was up. The markets were up for that day. I mean, they're up at the beginning, down where you're at. It's going to be obviously working against each other. Whereas I just looked yesterday, I was up 10%, and obviously I caught them on the other side where the beginning of the period was down and yesterday was up. But this stock is down substantial. I would have liked to maybe have held out for a little bit longer, but I didn't. And like I said, I like this stock. It fits into my strategy perfectly. Dividend stock, aristocrat. I'll hold it for a long time if I need to. I see potential upside, short term and long term, and I feel like there could be a bounce. Okay, one more thing I wanted to point out, which may affect the price. There was some stuff going on with oil. And we're talking about how oil was down. Oil's back above $60 a barrel right now. So I look for the crude oil CL equals F on Yahoo Finance. So there's a whole bunch of different oil prices you can look up. So if you're new, I just follow one that I think is more relevant to what I'm buying and selling. And so this crude oil is the price I follow, because I feel like it kind of gives me an indication what's going on with prices. And any oil companies I tend to trade somewhat have some correlation with this oil price. And I think all oil prices, from my estimate, I'm not an expert on the oil prices, tend to follow like the same ups and downs. Someone who's more of an expert on that could probably explain it more, but for my usage, that's really all I need to know. So oil prices back above 60, but in the last, so year to date, beginning of January-ish, when was that? January 15th, oil prices were at $80. They've dropped about $20 since beginning of January. All right, so this whole account, let's see where I'm at. Oh my goodness, just a little bit rock and rolled right now. My account is at $347. I'll go to the spreadsheet, and my actual for May, 347. I'm supposed to be at end of May, I'm supposed to be at 277.62. So I'm up quite a bit higher. Now, $50 a month is what I'm putting in, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm following that exactly, but it's pretty close. So on average, I'm putting in $50 a month. My spreadsheet says I should be at 277.52 by the end of the month, whereas I am currently at that 347. And I'm okay with my progression. If I stay on this to reach my $1 million, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4 years. I could make $1 million based on my numbers in 5 3/4 years. But my account doesn't show me making that much, so it's probably not going to happen. The estimated is, 5 3/4 years, but I am giving myself 7. That is the goal for this account, 7 years to make $1 million. I will be 62, so I will beat my retirement age. Boy, retirement would be great if I get over $1 million. Saved up just to travel. Wow, that would be fun. Okay, so that's it for the channel today. I hope you'll hit that subscribe and like, follow along on how I'm doing with my investment challenge, and we'll see you next time. By the way, I do have a link below for Wealthsimple for people in Canada who want an online broker with no fees, and I have a spreadsheet if you're new to investing and want a checklist as to what you might want to know before you start. That's also available in the description. See you next time.